This week on World Traveler Cooking, we're going to make Kaiserschmarrn. Kaiserschmarrn is a dish which is made in both Austria and Germany, and it's used for different things in different countries. In Germany, it's usually eaten as a dessert. In Austria, it's usually eaten as a light meal. This is basically, I would describe basically as being pancake chunks. I've had ones that very much feel like failed pancakes, but I've had other ones that are just fluffy little pancake bites that you eat with like an applesauce or a mashed plum sauce. Here in Indonesia, I can't get the mashed plum sauce very easily. I'll probably, when I can get some plums, I'll probably make some. But yeah. So I'm just going to do it with applesauce. You can also top it with a little bit of powdered sugar, very much like you would pancakes. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. The ingredients are quite simple. We have 2 large eggs, 100 grams of spelt flour, and you might be able to use wheat flour for this, but spelt makes better pancakes than wheat does, so I would definitely recommend not substituting if you can avoid it. We have 30 grams of sugar, that's a little over 2 tablespoons, and we have a pinch of salt. Finally, we have 125 milliliters, that's I would say about half a cup of milk, and those are our ingredients, so let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing we're doing is we are separating out the eggs. The whites will go in one bowl. I usually put the whites in the larger bowl. And those look like stiff peaks to me. So now we're going to go combine all the rest of the ingredients and fold these eggs in. So there's not anything really specific to this, especially since spelt doesn't really form the same sorts of glutens that wheat does. So we're going to go ahead and just mix all of this together. One thing that makes spelt make better pancakes, in fact, is that it doesn't form these same sorts of gluten. So you don't have to worry about things like over-mixing or stuff like that. So you can, in fact, take a whisk and whisk this completely smooth if you like. Alright, here's this. Now we are going to gently fold in the egg whites slowly until everything's homogeneous. And here we have our Kaiserschmarrn batter. Next up, cooking. So I'm preheating this pan here, and once it starts to get pretty warm, I'm going to add some butter. Yeah, there we go. And of course, I'm going to spread this butter around so that it's across the entire pan. This is an iron pan, so it is important to add this after. And then we will add our batter. Now, if you're on an electric stove, you probably want to do this on medium. If you're on a gas stove, I would suggest something a little bit lower than that, like medium-low, and we're just going to let this cook for a while until it's ready to be flipped. Now the significant challenge here is not burning the bottom, which is why I'm not cooking this on a higher heat. It's just going to take a few minutes and then we'll go ahead and flip it. Now for flipping this, because we're eventually going to tear it with our spatula, it doesn't actually matter if we make a mess of it. It does matter is that we try our best to make sure that everything was on the bottom is now on the top. So then we're going to go ahead and let this cook for a little bit, and then I'm going to break it apart with my spatula. So here I am, I'm just going to break it into pieces with my spatula. And yeah, it'll fall a little bit, that's fine. And then basically just cook them until you don't have any wet batter anywhere. And then we're ready to serve this. So to plate, I've just piled some of these on one side of the plate. And then typically you'll put a bunch of applesauce or plum sauce or maybe both somewhere else to eat with it. And here we have our Kaiserschmarrn. Now you can add like powdered sugar on top also. But I'm not going to do that today. I'm just going to serve it like this. So here is our Kaiserschmarrn. And now for the taste test. So these are really fluffy, light, a little bit sweet. Basically, I describe as pancake bites. Now, when we put it with the applesauce, that's completely magical. You get the flavors from the applesauce, the flavors from the pancake, they meld very well together. And this, as a result, can be a really nice light meal in this regard. Now, if you find this content interesting, I hope I've earned a like and a subscription from you, and please check out my Patreon page if you'd like to support me. You can support me at various different amounts as you'd like. And with the higher subscriptions, you get up to, with various subscription levels, you get up to 6 months worth of pre-release content. So feel free to look for me there. In addition, if you make this dish and you make it differently than I do, please mention things in the comments about what you do differently. I think it's always great to share those sorts of perspectives as cooks. At any rate, recipes in the description. Bon appetit, and see you next week.